So with the 11 touch points, I actually wrote a chapter about this, the 4-7-11 rule, in my book. So it's called Social Media Guide for Mortgage Brokers. And there's a whole chapter on the research behind that you need 11 like different touch points. And similar to the Coca-Cola example, I use McDonald's. I don't eat McDonald's, okay? Because if I'm going to have a burger, I'm going to have a good homemade greasy, but like a good burger. But I know where my nearest McDonald's is. And in fact, even if I go to a new area of town and I've never been there before, I can locate the nearest McDonald's because they have lots of different touch points, on radio, on TV, on social media. On the road, they don't even like their signals or their signs are just literally a golden arrow. Like it's not even like if you would like a burger, turn left. Like it's just like go left. And that arrow means McDonald's. So it's just that familiarity. So if you want more on that chapter, 4-7-11 chapter is in the book. The other thing you mentioned was about showing up on ChatGPT. So I got a message from this happened to me without really knowing that I was doing it. Again, see, winging it, just proof, just literally winging it. But I had a message from a Money Honey guest. So if you don't know, one of my podcast is called The Money Honey. Liz has been on it. I don't think anyone else in the room has been on it, but basically it's a show that highlights and promotes the women in the mortgage and property industry. So I've interviewed many women in mortgages, in property, in construction. And one of the guests who was doing her research, she said that she went on to ChatGPT and said, can you recommend the best female podcast or the best property podcast? I don't know what she typed in. I need to ask her. But she said, oh, you came up on ChatGPT. I was like, what did it say? What did ChatGPT say about me? And it just brought up the Money Honey podcast. Now, I am no Stephen Bartlett. Trust me, I have not got thousands and hundreds because it's such a niche podcast. It's for our community, right? It's for our industry. But ChatGPT recognizes it because it's got a digital footprint. And again, in the book, a lot I talk about your digital footprint, your brand. If I Google your name, what do I see? So, yeah, so many more exercises on that, especially social media related. So, anyway, I have been talking all day. But if you don't know, my name is Rosalia Lazzara Tilly, and I'm the founder and CEO of Manuka Media. My background has been 10 years within the mortgage industry. So my first job was working for a mortgage brokerage, doing packaging. Then I went to work for a lender. And then, sorry to point you out again, Liz, but during the pandemic and when I got made redundant, secretly behind doors, anyone go on 5K walks a day because anyway. So I didn't have a job because I was on furlough. Then I got made redundant. But during those walks, I either cried or got very excited about the future. And then I would go around again and cry because I was like, who am I kidding? What am I talking about? In the end, I decided to set up a limited company and it was called the Content Hive back then. But I was like, let's just go with it. Like the B was blurry, it didn't look like that. It wasn't perfect, but I was like, let's just go with it. And on that day, don't know if you remember this, Liz, but Liz rang me knowing that redundancies had been made at the bank that I was working at, and she offered me a job. And I see that today as a sign of the universe testing my commitment and my resilience and my choice. Because at that day, I'd registered the limited company that I was going to start my own business. And when someone like Liz offered me a job, I was there like, I'm gonna, but no, but Liz, here we are today. So I said, oh my gosh, Liz, had you rang me 24 hours ago, I didn't know what I was going to do with my future and I would have taken that job. But today, this is my business, blah, blah, blah. She went, oh, okay, we'll work together anyway. So ever since I've been in her network, I've helped her brokers. Yeah, we're doing other things today. So it just, goes to show that that trust and that all, authenticity and that authority that you build, you're building it now. You don't even know you're building it. We're just making it visible and digital. So you just don't know where your journey is going to take you. And that's a little bit about me in the background. So today, what I'm going to show you is a video. Everyone's played videos today. I've actually got this training. I was going to do the live training here today, but because it's been recorded in the past, I'll play the video instead. It is a long video, but what I might do is just show you clips of it, and then I've got a QR code that you can access it for free. But I've just found, this is when I was talking about, I've no idea what I'm doing with AI. I'm just winging it and seeing how I get on as I go along. But I found a hack for my team that they can create. Our slogan is like 100 pieces of content in 10 minutes. And I've got proof, evidence that I've got a 10-minute video that shows you how I've created 100 pieces of content in 10 minutes, just because I found this couple of buttons with Canva and ChatGPT and integration, and I'll just clicked those buttons and found it. So this is my gift to you. It's a free gift. You can then adapt it and see how you would like to use it, but it's just proof that you don't have to go too far for the answers that they're right there for you. Yes.
I'm Rosalia Lazzara, the founder and CEO of Manuka Media. I'm a #1 best-selling author on Amazon. I'm also a podcast host of the Money Honey podcast. I'm a champion for women in finance, property, and construction. And I'm also a school enterprise advisor, helping the next generation learn about property. Assuming I am a protection advisor, and I want to talk to families. Okay, so my ideal customers are family. So let's just assume that as my avatar, as my ideal customer. So I'm going to say to ChatGPT, hello. I always like to say hello and be polite because, you never know if they take over the world. At least I'll remember my kindness from the past. I'll be like, hello, can you please create 25 motivational quotes for parents and families who want to protect their health and well-being. So I'm going to assume here that my ideal customers, parents and families, want to look after their children, want to look after their health, and they want to have a great lifestyle. So I'm asking ChatGPT to give me 25 motivational quotes for parents and families who want to protect their health and well-being. So I'm going to ask it to prompt and deliver it. And there you can see it's creating 25 quotes for me. So now that you've got your 25 ideas, what I want you to do is copy and paste just the 25. So control, copy, and then open up Excel. Okay, so you copy and paste this into Excel, and I'm going to save this. Now I'd like you all to follow me to Canva, please. So you open up your Canva, and you want to go into what would you like to design today? And all I need you to type in there is Instagram. Let's say you're going to be posting this on Instagram, okay? You want to choose the Instagram post square. So if you just choose that, and then pick any design that is already created for you. So try and keep it quite simple, try and keep it quite modern and trendy, or whatever suits your brand. So I don't have your brand palette, but I'm just going to go with this one because if I'm doing quotes, I'm liking the look of this one because it's got a quote in there already, so I don't have to design anything. And I like the layout. So let's customize this template, rename it up here so that you don't forget it. So this is called motivational quotes, and perhaps you might put in there families. And then what I'm going to do is design, this is really important that before you carry on, you design the first template, otherwise you're going to have to design 25. So only design the first one. And given that I'm called Manuka Media, I'm going to put Manuka Media there. And I might change well, actually, I really do like this background, so let's actually stick with that. So now, this is the magic, okay? This is how I'm going to blend Canva and ChatGPT together. So you go to Bulk Create here on the side, and you click Bulk Create. You want to click Upload Data. Remember the Excel spreadsheet. So you find your document in the local drive that you saved it in, you double click it, and it will upload into Canva. Now, it's already picked up what my motivational quotes are. So for now, just press continue. There it is there. You want to connect the data. So this is what you click. So you go to the design, and this is where I want my quotes to appear, you see. So I'm going to click on there, as you can see, it's highlighted, and I'm going to click connect data and select this, where it says healthy families grow strong together, because that's exactly the document that I have uploaded. You then press continue because it's now connected. I can see it's connected because it should be highlighted in purple. You press continue, and now it says generate these 24 designs or 25, however many you have. It automatically takes you to a new screen, and there you have it. You have all those 25 or 24 content ideas into a design that's already been pre-designed by you and selected by you, but then multiplied by the...
Okay, did you follow that? Awesome. So this is live on YouTube. It's free for everybody to use, so you can follow it with a little bit more, you can be a bit more careful with it. Obviously, I was just being really generic, like 25 motivational posts. But you've got to be really specific with your prompts for ChatGPT. So it could be 25 mortgage myths, or debusting or unraveling the mortgage acronyms, breaking down the mortgage acronyms, what do they mean? So little things like that, instead of you like one day at a time designing just one post, this could design 100 in any one. So the rest of the video shows you how I then do it for videos as well. Obviously not talking heads, but like B-roll footage, like footage of me typing away at my desk and then text over the top. So just real time, really quickly. Like, this is barely AI at this stage. It's like, yeah, it's just normal. It exists in Canva, exists in ChatGPT. I haven't coded anything. I haven't started from scratch. So hands in the air if you found that really easy to follow. Like, could you see yourself doing that? Great. That's what I wanted from today. Okay, so if we switch back to the presentation, I'll just show you another quick hack, because today I'm just going to show you 3 quick tools. That was ChatGPT and Canva. Then I want to show you how I've used, next. Oh yeah, so if you want to get access to this video, just go to that QR code, please, and follow or subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is called On Brand. It's literally only just gone live. It's a very brand new channel. You'll be my first followers, so thank you so much. But YouTube, again, for GEO purposes, when you go on Google and you search something, YouTube is owned by Google, and it feeds into your page 1 YouTube videos. So the video's on there if you want to watch it. Now, next up, we've got... Yes, right. So another platform that I use, again, didn't go out searching for AI. I wasn't searching for something, mind-blowing. I just needed a streaming platform to be able to do my podcast, because honestly, it is one of the most intensive jobs, and I don't even get paid for it. Like, that's just something I've done for the community, to bring more female faces to the screens and share their stories. But it is so labor intensive, the inviting people to the show, even sourcing candidates, like, oh, that lady's just won a trophy, I'm just going to ask her if she wants to come and share her story. So even that can't really be replaced much, because I want to be the personal, sometimes I send a voice note being, oh, well done on your award, love to interview you on the Money Honey podcast. Then we've got to send them the email, So this is just a streaming platform. This is where I record it, because I record it online. It looks like a Zoom chat, but it's much more slick in terms of recording it for a podcast. And yeah, I'd love to do a face-to-face one, but it doesn't quite work like that. So let's go to the tab, thank you, where I will show you live here now. I'm going to do a demo of how that video you've just watched on YouTube, if I now want to get shorts from it, so short video, so that video is about 12 minutes. I've got other videos that are about an hour long, but then my team have been manually editing down that 1 hour long video. And I say, can you get me 10 short, snappy videos, 60 seconds, that I can post on Instagram? So then I can advertise the traffic, right? So if it's on YouTube, I've got to come onto LinkedIn and say, hey guys, this video's on YouTube. Short video post. Okay. Then I've got to go on Instagram, reel, hey, selfie, post. So I've got to tell so many different channels about this YouTube video, but the longest bit about it is the editing time. So I'm going to need to see it on the screen as well. Is that okay? Because I won't be able to look behind. So can I look at it here and there? Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, that's it. Thanks. So I'm going to have to put the mic. Oh, do you want to put the mic up here? Sorry. Right. So this is the video now that we've uploaded to Riverside. So sometimes I record within the platform, so live, go record, or you can upload your videos on here. Now, I'm not saying you need to go, I'm not paid by Riverside or here or anything. I'm just showing you, this is one tool that I was already using, but they adopted AI. they adopted AI as part of their platform because these platforms are advancing. And with an AI feature that they have, you see it's got Ask AI. So what I'm going to do, if it's not done it already for me, is go into edit mode, right? And when I go into edit mode, do you know what I'm going to do? Because of the bandwidth, I'm going to show you, here's one we did earlier. So for example, I interviewed this lovely lady, Ashley Edwards from MAB. And when you have the long form video, I really want to show you this though. Where is it? Bear with me, just 1 second. Here we go. So can you see it's one long recording, yeah, of about 40 minutes. And then when you go to edits, I just literally saw them. Made for you. Here we go. Magic Clips is already an AI built-in platform within Riverside. And without me actually having done anything, it's automatically generated 3 short clips of the long version. Okay, I literally didn't press anything. You can see there, it's actually 4. So from the long form, 3 to 4 shorts will be made. Then all I have to do as a human is play it. It is a beast of a platform, so it needs a lot of bandwidth. But trust me, it's 36 seconds of a short form clip. Now, if you then wanted to edit that and say, actually, it's not quite at the right length, you see, it takes a while for this to load, but at home, it's like lightning speed. I can then adjust the long form. So you can then also search for keywords. So if I know from that podcast, we spoke about educating or financial education in schools, I could type the word, it's not going to come up because it's not fast enough, financial education. And it will bring up within that long form video where we spoke about financial education. And I can extract in a much faster way that segment. Does that make sense? I know it's not really catching up with the review here, but you can see if I go on YouTube, you can see how if I type in the Money Honey podcast, see, you can see there, that's a long form video. And then all of these shorts that have been, you see, there's a lot of volume. You know, some of our content is getting over 1,000 views. Some of it is getting no views or 3 views. So it's a lot of testing with this short form content because you don't know which one's going to land. So if you're then asking your team or you're doing it yourself for 3 hours editing a video and then you get 3 views, no wonder you want to give up on your marketing. Do you see what I mean? You're never going to keep it up if you're doubling up on workload. It's taking too long and then you're deflated by the amount of response that you get back. And all this is testing. You know, we've tested split screens, we've tested single screens like that where you can only see one person at a time. We've tested it with music, with no music, but we've been able to speed up our workload simply by using platforms that already existed and just learn about the AI function in it. So that was that platform. So if we go back to the presentation, Deesh, there's one more that I wanted to show. Oh yeah, the page is up. Okay, so this is another little tool that many of you may have heard of, and I just wanted to play with it just to see how this could make my website SEO rich, right? So how could I add more content? Because whilst I've been focusing on Instagram, LinkedIn, and all that, I then turn around, I'm like, oh, I've neglected my website. I've got to go on there now. So what I asked my team to simply do was repurpose an old blog that I had already written a long time ago. And that blog went on to LinkedIn, and it went on to our newsletters, and it went on to our website. So it was already visible in 3 places. Again, great for the Google ranking. What we then did as an extra little exercise was uploaded this, this blog that I'd already written with the assistance of ChatGPT, of course. But as you can see, a lot of it is my own personal knowledge. And then I uploaded it to ChatGPT and said, structure it and give me headlines, make it a bit more professional. And then I put it on my website and added it to a site called ElevenLabs. Okay, so that's another AI platform. And honestly, quite honestly, the only reason I've used it is to test for this function where it's turned, within a click of a button, it's turned my blog into a podcast, but not with me. It's just other voices, but they are literally discussing this blog. And let me just play it for you now so you can see how real it sounds.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We're here to sift through the noise and find those golden nuggets for you. And today, we are diving headfirst into something super critical for anyone in the mortgage world, generating leads. Seriously, whether you're just starting out, maybe looking to grow your business, or honestly, even if you're just curious about how this part of finance works, leads are the absolute lifeblood. We've been looking at this really great article from Manuka Media, and it's just packed with practical advice. So our mission for this deep dive, pulling out the best strategies for getting mortgage leads online, offline, all of it to help you get more control over your business and, your success.
Yeah, what's really fascinating, and the source jumps right into this, is this kind of tension, right, between leads you're just given versus the ones you go.
That. Like, I don't even know who they are, but they're like, oh, this great article from Manuka Media. So that being on my website, what does that do when I've got a podcast and an article on that page and you're visiting it? What does that do? But it keeps you there for longer. It keeps you, so that again improves, what do you call it? Like the credentials or like the credibility of my page, and it tells Google this page is good, this content is good, because I've given it to you in a audio format. So you could be washing the dishes or making your cup of tea or doing your morning admin. You can just listen to 12 minutes of that instead of having to read it. Wouldn't that be cool? So yeah, my team, again, I just said, look guys, there's 5 articles, there's 5 blogs, just test it. Sign up to ElevenLabs and test it, see if you like it. And then they put it up on my website for me. So this is when I was saying, I turned down the job to speak here today because I just thought I'm just playing around, but that is all part of the learning and the process. There's some tools that we've tested and, we just didn't get on well with them at all. There's some that promised way more than they could deliver. So we signed up, spent too much money and then, cancelled our membership. There's others that felt like was replicating a lot of the work. So yeah, we're just playing around with these apps just to see how we could either make more and produce more with less time, or remove a task from our to-do list entirely. But this is not about replacing my team. If anything, I've hired more in the last year than ever before. I went from starting out completely on my own, and so I do know how that feels, where you're like, well, I need staff. The first person they tell you to hire is an admin, to help you. I need someone, but I need the money to keep me, afloat. But then I need someone to grow. So how do I do that? And today, 5 years into my business, I've got about 12 people working with me on a freelance basis. It feels like every day because they've always got something to do. But 12 people that the more I delegate, honestly, the more my income grows. The more I delegate, the more time I have back in my life and the more I can fit in. At first, I was scared to delegate and to use systems or to use platforms. I was like, but that only takes me 5 minutes. I'll just do it. And that only takes me 5 minutes. So I'll just do it. So all I did was, guys, I removed the 5-minute jobs. If something took 5 minutes, I no longer saw that as, well, I will just do that. I'm a CEO. Okay, I'm working on the business as well as in the business, but I want to reduce as much time in it so I can work on it. And if it is a 5-minute job, the CEO will be doing it. So this is where AI really truly comes into its own, because it's now helping me delegate the £10 jobs or the 5-minute jobs or even the 3-hour jobs that I definitely shouldn't be doing. Now, I've mentioned my book a few times, only because that's a great reference point for those who are really trying to navigate the world of social media. Anyone just out of interest in the room read it or have it? Okay, awesome, thank you. Yeah, so there's no chapter there on AI, because when I wrote this, nobody was talking about AI. So maybe I need to write a new book at some point. I'm going to need a couple of authors, co-authors in the book, in the room, please. Now, what I've also prepared for you, just as a freebie, as a gift, is that, again, if you join this newsletter, Iftika mentioned how important newsletters are. That is one of my biggest regrets in my marketing journey, because when I first started, my primary focus was LinkedIn, and I was just all over LinkedIn, and I didn't have any clients. Okay, and obviously data protection, GDPR, so I had no emails. So when I got my first client, I've got one email. So I was like, okay, I can just email them when I want. Then you have 5 emails, then 10, and then before I knew it, I realized that as people were becoming clients, I had a queue of prospects that weren't quite ready to work with me yet, but I wasn't nurturing them. I was only ever dealing with any, you know, you don't have to put your hand up for this, but I've been looking after mortgage brokers for 10 years now, and I can see that habit of feast to famine. When they are busy and they've got loads of leads, they think they're smashing it, and they're like, no, I've got loads of leads, and they're not thinking about what's coming next. When you do run out of leads, how are you going to handle that? So they get stuck in what you've got in front of you right now. Oh, I've got so much to get through. I've got so much to get through. This is my priority. And then, like a meerkat, when you've got no leads, you're like, anyone else need a mortgage? I was doing that. I was doing the same thing. I wasn't nurturing the people that were potentially interested in me. So newsletters has become a big thing, because the other thing is, if my followers on LinkedIn, Instagram, if I was to be hacked, cut off, if they shut down, I lose everything. I literally lose my entire social media presence. And if you don't have my WhatsApp, my number, we're obviously not friends. Because otherwise, if you're only messaging me on LinkedIn and I'm out overnight, you're never going to be able to get hold of me. So to future-proof my business, what I've done to let Google know, please know that I don't just exist on LinkedIn. Podcast, it means I exist on YouTube. Book, it means I exist on Amazon. Podcast also means I exist on Spotify. Newsletters means I own the data. I own that database in my system. So I'm in control of getting in touch with you or not. I don't rely on being I don't believe in being a social media influencer. I'm not trying to be famous on social media, because that I don't own that. I don't own that platform. So by being visible across multiple platforms, not just social media, I've been able to future-proof my next lead. So this newsletter, again, the reason it'd be worth signing up is because you get, off the back of being part of it, you get free guides and PDFs. And I hope that that can inspire you to create your own as well. So like, for example, I'll be sending you things like a LinkedIn engagement cheat sheet, or 5 simple tips to make your video more confident, or 25 viral hooks. And that's only to those who are part of the newsletter. So I'll give you a second to get yourself onto that newsletter. And then that is it from me. If you're done there, please do connect if we're not connected already.